he finally told me everything that I had put him through for 3 years because of me being an alpha woman and not allowing him to lead, not respecting him of this amazing man that God sent for me, I just shut up after that. We've been married 5 years. He had like a government 9-to-5 job. He wasn't an entrepreneur. We ended up getting a trucking company. We made amazing money. And he was just like, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. It's like I forced it on him because we together. And he did it out of love for me, and it was hurting him for 3 years. I had no idea. I didn't find out till I had lost $1.2 million. Like, I went through a depression. Like, my therapist told me I was grieving. Nobody close to me has never died in my life, so I've never had to grieve. And I grieved for 9 months. And during that time, my husband was praying for me, and he was just like, it's gonna be okay. And like, he was bigging me up, and I was just crying over them and just over everything. I was just crying every day for 9 months, not knowing nothing I put him through for 3 years. And once he finally told me everything that I had put him through for 3 years because of me being an alpha woman and not allowing him to lead, not respecting him of this amazing man that God sent for me, I just shut up after that. I was like, you don't got to be an entrepreneur. If you want to work a job, you can work a job. Like, and I feel like he was trying to match me.
I said I'm never coming back again. Next I stepped away from the mirror. I got my mind made up now, 'cause I can see the future much clearer. What's happening? I'm doing this because it's not just for content, but this is when boss chicks fail. I've seen this happen before, more than a few times. This concept of I want to be a boss or I'm an alpha woman, like the alpha woman thing dying down because they're realizing, yeah, what we think ain't what we think. What we think alpha is not what alpha is what I'm trying to say. But I've seen this, a lot of times. And normally, this is what really happens. A man and a woman get together, and the guy is stable, like provider ability, right? The woman can talk about that, I'm a boss, I'm a business, I'm a, but normally they don't really have a business. They have a dream, sometimes sometimes a vision, and the guy has to take care of pretty much all of the household stuff while the entrepreneurial woman goes in the world and figures it out, right? And I hate to say this, but a lot of times she wants the title of boss or the title of entrepreneur more than she wants to do business. And what normally happens is the business or the entrepreneurship, it fails because she doesn't want to be consistent. And I'm going to say it in this other way. There are a lot of men who are entrepreneurs and businessmen, right? And a lot of them would tell you either that isn't the business that they made money in isn't their first business because they failed at businesses prior, but they learned from them. Or they'll say like, I've been doing this for years when it wasn't really paying until it paid off, right? But what I see with these quote unquote boss chicks, they have an issue with both of those things. Because as she said, like she lost $1.2 million. And I hate to do it, but a lot of times it's come off to me over the years that she put her husband in a bad spot and she ain't intending to fix it. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, I put us in debt because I'm an alpha, but she ain't intended to try to go down the business path again to try to fix that situation. And usually the man is like, dog, because how you get 1.2 in debt is he starts telling you it's not working and you start hiding that it's not working and then it implodes and then he got to fix it. Got a call, paused it, I'm back. But when it comes to that, they won't fix the business they won't fix the business for one. And for two, like I said, because they'll hide it. I'm not gonna say she, but they'll hide it until it implodes. And when it implodes, everything hits the fan, and now the guy's left to pick up the pieces. And I've seen it on the other side where, and I made a video about that. I've seen women use guys, because they want to quote unquote be entrepreneurs, but they don't want to do it with their own sweat equity or their own money. So they'll use guys to get to a certain space or a certain number and then go, I'm out and I'm doing me, blah, blah, blah. And they get in quote unquote business and the business fails because they wanted the title more than that. And then it's back to the drawing board. I'm gonna use some other guys, right? And I've seen this so much because like there's I saw a young lady on social media talking about that, like, oh, a man bought me cars and men paid my rent for months, but they ain't never invested in me. And it's that mentality. Like a lot of you quote unquote alphas or boss chicks, y'all looking for men to actually be the money behind your business or your entrepreneurship. It's not money you saved up from working a lot of times. It's or if you did work, you saved up your money for your business idea, but you didn't contribute to the relationship because, oh, it's about my business. It's like, you're supposed to do both. And when they fail, you know it's like people don't celebrate that you a lot of you ladies fail at business and entrepreneurship. People just get tired of your investment in it, because your investment in it normally comes to, you buy certain outfits, you have a certain demeanor and posture about yourself. But when it comes down to the brass tacks of the numbers in business, it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? If you're succeeding, it's cool. If you're failing, it's no ways to fix it. And to add to that, if you succeed, I've seen people succeed at it in the beginning, and then it dip. And the reason why they're out of business is because while it was succeeding, they were overspending on themselves and not reinvesting in the business. So when the downtime came, wiped them out. And there's no nice way to say some of this stuff I'll be thinking, but one of the bigger issues is I don't think a lot of women are good at entrepreneurship and boss lady in business, because if it works or if it fails, it's kind of the concept. I'm gonna fall back on a guy at some point. You know what I'm saying? And you see it even in, like, I'm not going. It's different in like marriages, but but I've seen that even in marriages where the husband does all the heavy lifting and the wife, well, I got time on my hands, so let me be an entrepreneur, let me start something. And a lot of times they don't stick to it. You know what I'm saying? They don't stick to it, or it fails because they don't stick to it. And but it's like, my husband, he making money, he bringing home money, so it is what it is. They've been times where, because people talk about like men in the relationships or husbands who are bad with money, but they don't talk about a lot of times, women are bad with money. And it's weird to be bad with money and also be an entrepreneur, because I've seen it where you save money because of the guys. I've seen it where you got your credit up and you got all this credit, and it's like, oh, you got a vision, but you don't have, let's just say, the guts to stick it all the way out when the good times and the bad. And sometimes you can't stick it out in the bad times because, like I said, you got wiped out. But far too many times, you know, and I'm gonna be honest, like I'm not being honest or whatever, but I've seen a lot of broken boss chicks who, when they was on their boss chick style and boss chick energy, or they was on top of the world, but when they took that out into the business world and they got crushed, then it was just, they were just broken people. And I'll say she's different because she's married, but that's kind of messed up because you basically put your husband $1.2 million in debt. because of your what you want. You get what I'm saying? That don't make sense. Um, but I've seen a lot of, but there's far more single women who just, like I said before, use guys to get to a point, and then they went out and become an entrepreneur, and they failed, and now they're broken because not only did their idea, business idea, not work for for whatever reason, right? But now they're stuck with the bill of it. And the same way you had women who would go to college and get be all feminist and say they don't need a man, and then get when college is over with, then they get hit with that student loan bill, and it's like, oh, I need some help, but I didn't told all these people that I was in college with, or in the adult world, as I started out, that I don't need a man, and now these bills are killing me. And it's like, that's not really God's issue anyways, but it's the same thing with the entrepreneurs. They lose a lot of money in business, and now they got that debt hanging over their head. And there's a lot of like write-offs and things that can go into stuff like, so if you got enough savvy and common sense, you can turn that let's just say $1.2 million debt maybe to a $300,000 debt. You know, selling stuff, write-offs, that type of situation, right? Sell-offs was what I mean, sell-offs and write-offs. But the remaining debt is still you though. And I say this, um, alpha women, boss chicks have a hard time with debt because they still want to, I want to put on my outfits, I want to get my hair done, I want to, get my nails done, and get my lashes done, and I just, but you just put yourself in stupid debt. But it goes back to I'm gonna clean myself up, and I'm gonna be a new me, and hopefully get back on social media, and find a guy who's gonna take me in to get me through the next phase type shit. And it's like, yeah, but when boss chicks fail, it's not good, but it happens way more than people admit. You know how many, like, the older you're gonna get because of the BBLs, you're gonna see a lot of women with BBLs just in the workforce, because the concept of I'm gonna get my body done and meet a man, he gonna take care of me, and now they single and they got to get a job, and now they at work BBL'd up. You know what I'm saying? You saw the stripper market down, the real estate market down, even the hair care and just the spa type market. Women can't afford it like that. You get what I'm saying? So when they fail, it's ugly. It's ugly. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.